should kill him, right? So you got Cain kill Esau with a weapon. You know, that's how he killed him. Could have been a rock, a stick, or something he picked up, but that's how he killed him, right? And then he had a mark put on him, which is the same thing when you get over here to, let me see, Genesis chapter 25. Verse 24, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red. That's that same mark that was on Cain. He came out red because he came out with that same mark, because he is the same spirit as Cain, which goes back to the same spirit of that old serpent in the garden, the Edomite spirit. Just like it's the same thing with the Israelites. That same spirit that was in Jacob is the same spirit in Isaac. That same spirit in Isaac is the same spirit in Abraham, which goes back to Seth, right? Which goes back to, which eventually it goes back to, I'm sorry, I skipped over, but it goes back to Noah, right? It goes back to Shem. You got Shem, you got Noah, you got Seth, you know, you got Adam. That's that same spirit. That's why technically it isn't correct. Technically, it's incorrect to say that Adam was an Israelite, but yeah, he had that same Israelite spirit. That's the chosen bloodline. So Adam would have been reincarnated as an Israelite down the line. And they say Adam, if I don't mess it up off the top of my head, was Yahushai. Yahushai was Adam. He was Isaac, right? He was King Solomon. If you have ears to hear, but a lot of people don't, because y'all lack faith and y'all not spiritual, man. A lot of y'all, you know. So he came out red, all over like a hairy garment. He didn't come out. It didn't say he came out hairy he said he came out red like in a hairy garment, because the ancient hairy garments were red. And they called his name Esau, which means wasted away. He is wasted away, because his skin was wasted away, because that was that same mark from Cain coming back, right? And then after that came out his brother, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, Sepantris, if I can get my words right. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him, right? And the boy grew up. Esau was a cunning hunter. We see that today. Esau's a cunning hunter. He's the one that's hunting all the deer. He's the one that's in the forest hunting this animal, that animal. Jacob, we like to be right here in the city, next to each other. Esau the one that's all out hunting bears and tigers and giraffes and stuff. We see that same spirit, man, which was similar to Cain's spirit. If I could go back and find something on it. I might not be able to. See, it says, but Cain, in verse 2 of Genesis 4, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. But Abel, you know, he was a keeper of the sheep. He liked to stay home, the keeper of the sheep, you know, be in the cities. Like it says in Genesis 25, verse 27, but Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. You see? But Esau, he want to be a tiller of the ground. He all out there. He want to be a cunning hunter. That's that same spirit. We can see it today. If you're not ignorant of it, if you could admit it. A lot of people can't admit it because it hurt their soul to know that Esau can't be saved and that America's going to be destroyed. And the reason why is because they want to be liked. And who's in the power seat? So they want to be liked by the master. That's in the power seat right now, Esau. And they got ties to this world. But the Lord said, who should try to save his life will lose his life. Those that will lose their life should save their life. Take heed, you know. Get out your feelings. This is Genesis chapter 27. Just to go on and show the comparison between Esau, Cain, the old serpent, the red dragon, the red horse, right? I'll just get straight to the point. So this was the blessing that Esau had got. So remember in Revelation chapter 6, verse 4, it said, and the great sword, and he took peace from the earth, right? Verse 39 in Genesis 27. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above, and by the sword shalt thou live. This time about Esau. Because verse 38, just in case for you, it didn't say Esau nowhere. Okay, man, let me get the context. Verse 38. And Esau said to his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling should be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shall thy live. Who lives by the sword today? Those are the Edomites. Everything they got was by the sword. America was got by war and the sword, the gun. That's how they got America. America is kept by war and the sword, the gun. So it's not hard to see who the Edomites are today, because they ruling by the sword. They rule the earth by the sword. If a nation don't do what they want them to do, they're gonna put damn, I forgot what the word is. They're gonna tax them. You know, that's pretty much what it goes into. They're gonna put sanctions on them. That's the word. If the sanctions don't work, they're gonna try to set up a puppet government, overthrow their government, set up a puppet government, or destroy their economy in some type of way. If none of that stuff work, then they're going to go in with the sword and they're going to go to war to take them over. If this nation don't go along with their agenda. That's who's ruling the earth with the sword today. It says, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break the yoke off his neck. He did that during after the dark ages when we as a rulership with over them. They did it a couple times. They broke that yoke off the neck, and then they had dominion. During the time of kings, after the kings, you know, we went down by the Babylonians, you know, and the Persian and Medes, and then eventually, which Esau always been there against us, but eventually it got to the Greeks. It says, and Esau hated Jacob because of his blessing wherewith his father blessed him, which was the same thing with Cain hated Abel. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning of my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. I will kill my brother Jacob the same way that Cain had that vendetta to kill Abel. So it's the same thing. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, does comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. And that same anger is still to this day, man. Psalms 83, you know, he still has that hatred today against his brother. You know, so here, let's just get some precepts, you know. So we breaking it down. And we're gonna go overboard just in case you don't know, man. So there's no more questions about it, at least for me. This is Proverbs 29. If I can get back to it. Verse 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So aren't the people mourning? Didn't we just come off a lockdown? People lost lives and lost loved ones. That's because the wicked is in rulership. Esau don't know how to rule this earth, man. So Esau's all these things. He's the wicked. It tells you that in Malachi chapter 1, but let me grab another precept. When the wicked are in rulership, the earth mourns. So that tells you who's in the rulership right now. This is Job chapter 9, then I get to Malachi. Job chapter 9, verse 24, it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So that proves even more that the wicked is in rulership. It says, he covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not where, who is he? So we got to ask, who is the wicked? Well, it's the Edomites. To answer that question, here we go. Let's answer that question. So it says the earth is, when the wicked are in rulership, the earth mourns. It says that the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. It says, who is he? Right? Then when you jump back or jump up to Malachi chapter 1 verse 4, it says, whereas Esau, right, say, we are a promise, but we will return and build the desolate places. thus saith the Lord of hosts, they build up America. It says, but I will throw down, the Lord's going to come back, destroy it. It says, they should call them the border of wickedness. See? And the people against whom the Lord has indignation forever. Not, I'm going to forgive them one day and I'm going to save Edomites. So if you say the Edomites can be saved, you're bugged the fuck out and you're going off. There's no way around it. The Lord said he's going to have indignation for them forever, not come back and forgive them and save them. Salvation is only for the elect of Israel. So now we know that the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, but the Bible also says that Esau is the border of the wickedness, meaning he is the wicked. He's the most wicked on earth. So we see America, that's ruled by the Edomites, is the most wicked place on earth. Go downtown Chicago at nighttime to some of those nightclubs and see how many demons you see out there. Go downtown Miami at nighttime and see how many demons you pop into. I've been downtown Chicago at nighttime, man. Oh man, the women are demons. They're all sluts. If you got the right price, you know, something for a piece of, what did Mike up say? Something strange for a piece of change. If you got the right change, they gonna do something strange. They demons, man. They wicked. We done been there and been behind the man in groups, and they wicked. They basically, man, I don't even want to go into it, man. It's just too much, man. This place has demons, man. And then even going farther with the laws are unjust. This is a wicked place, and they persecute the poor, and they persecute the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. They spill our blood in the streets. You know, that's why they're the wicked. Here, let me see if I can grab a couple precepts. So if you didn't know who the wicked is, it tells you that right now. So who would be the devil? Esau. Who would be the old serpent? Esau. Who would be the red dragon? Esau. Who would be the red horse? Esau, man. Get back. As a matter of fact, let's get another precept on it. This one slipped my head, but let's get it now. This is Habakkuk 2, breaking this man down even more since we're talking about America, right? I get straight to the point. Verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just should live by faith. Yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires as the hell in as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gather unto him all nations, right? And heap it unto him all people. Doesn't that sound like America? All nations and heap it unto him all people. His soul cannot be satisfied. He don't keep it at home. Now that he got America, he's all over in the Middle East. His soul is not upright in him, man. Should not all these take up a proverb against him, a tiny proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How was America taken? Was this the Edomites? They say that this is North America now. They have power and rulership over it. The president is a so-called Edomite. Well, not so-called, but so-called white man, but he's an Edomite. So, why is he the president of America? This is not their land. Wasn't this the Native American land? That's what it says. Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long to him that letteth himself with thick clay? If you go back to the breakdown in what's that, Daniel chapter 2, or maybe Daniel chapter 7, but when you go back to the breakdown that was given to that Daniel broke down, right? Then you understand that the iron was mixed with the clay, which was symbolizing the Roman Empire being mixed with the weak empires, but it also symbolized America being mixed with the weak, these weak EU nations and stuff like that, which is going to turn against America and shoot nukes on it. So it's giving you insight. These key words, these key phrases, giving you insight of who is talking about the wicked right here in Habakkuk 2. It's talking about the Roman Empire all over again, which is America. And not just America as a whole, but who rules America, which are the Edomites. It says, shall they not rise up suddenly, and shall bite thee, and shall awake, and shall vex thee? It says, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of thy people shall spoil thee. Who spoiled many nations? Come on. Because of the man's blood, for the violence of the land, and of the city, and all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth, and even covetousness, in the house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. It's verse 11, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city with iniquity. How was America built? On blood. And how was it established? On iniquity. That's a fact. No matter what your feelings is, that's a fact. There's no way around that. There's no way around it. That's a fact, man. Oh man, here we go. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there coming a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, which are the Edomites. That's why they're trying to get everybody to go with their new world order, because they want to play God. It's not the Negroes, the Hispanics, and Native Americans that's in the power seat that's coming with this whole new internet of all things and digital everything. It's the Edomites. Y'all know who's in the power seat that's bringing all this into the world, because they're trying to play God. They didn't say, look, we're going to let God get rid of the pandemic and heal us. We're going to pray to God as a nation. They didn't say that. They said, look, we're going to come with science, and we're going to come with a jab, and we're going to give it to people, and we're going to say to people. They're playing God, man. That's who opposes himself and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worship. So he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And you go to Google, you type in God on Google, who pops up? The Edomites. A man that looked like me, the true Israelites, that image don't pop up. The so-called white man image pops up. If you go to Google, you type in Jesus, the so-called white man image pops up. That's how they made you worship them. You know? So he's showing himself to be God. So even when you type in God on his internet, he pops up. It's showing you who the wicked is, who the man of sin is, who the old serpent is, who the devil, who the deceiver is, who the red dragon, who the red horse is. Same spirit that was in Cain, Esau. It's come down to Esau, man. How can you not see it? How can you not see it, man? Here, let me jump. Let me see if I can find something real quick. Yeah, this is, oh man. Tawada, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Because that's the spirit, because I couldn't even think of this precept off the top of my head. And I just flipped the page back to Revelations and it popped up, man. This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 15. It says, he saying to me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns, these other nations, right, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall make her, shall hate the whore. So these EU nations are gonna turn against the whore and destroy her the same way if you have iron mixed with clay. That's the breakdown, man. It says, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. How could another nation burn another nation with fire? Nuclear weapons. What did they say? ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, with nukes in the warhead. It comes over here, it explodes, a gigantic fire comes out, a wave, a blast, radiation, right? A mushroom cloud, and it blows up and it burns everything. That's how they could burn her with fire. So that's how we know that nuclear weapons is in the Bible, and that's how we know that second death, fire and brimstone, is going to come by the way of nuclear weapons opposed to meteors. Because if it was just meteors, another nation can't direct a meteor to come and hit America and destroy it. They got to send a nuclear weapon, which plays the same thing. It goes on to space. The hypersonic missiles go out to space. They come down and hit their target, almost like a meteor. But they're even worse because it's a nuclear explosion and it burns the land with fire. So they going to turn on her, just like we was just reading. You know, in Habakkuk 2. Man, I'm happy I found that. Here, let's get another precept. This is Psalms, because we breaking this man down, man. We breaking him down to the bone. We breaking him down to the bone, man. And this comes by the way of great counsels. Proverbs chapter 1, wise counsels. Years of studying ourselves, but also our apostles, you know, 30, 35 years of studying and stuff, man. And you got to really resort and give it all back, all glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Because that's what it comes down to. Because Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is putting that spirit on the earth. I mean, Yahweh Shai is the word. He is the light. So he's putting that light onto the earth so we can see the truth. He's putting his word on the earth so we can read it, so we can understand it. And he's opening our minds to get these breakdowns. That's why we able to break it down like this. Precept upon precept, man, down to the bone of who the Edomites are, who the wicked are, who's the red dragon, who's the red horse. A young man like me. But we understand reincarnation, right? Such a great thing, though. This is Psalms chapter 10, verse 1. Why standeth thou forward, O Lord? Why hidest thyself in time of trouble? The wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. So there go, talking about the wicked again. But we already broke down with Job 9:24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. We already broke down with Malachi 1, chapter 1, verse 4, that Esau is the wicked. So Esau is the one persecuting the poor. And the poor are the Israelites, because those were the curses that was put on us. It says, let them be taken in their devices that they have magic, the mark of the beast, and all the other devices in a new world order, the internet of all things. For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire. So he's boasting of his heart's desire, his new world order. The internet of all things, everything digital. The mark of the beast, the micro implant chip. He's boasting of those things. He put it all in his movies. He put it on his news. You can see it coming from a mile away if the Lord opens your eyes up to see it. It says, bless the communists who the Lord hearteth. The wicked, through the pride of his conscience, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts, because he opposes himself. Like 2 Thessalonians said, he showed himself to be God. It says, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above all his sight. And you're going to see that even more with some of these new laws they coming out with. It's going to be very grievous, man. It says, he has said in his heart, I should not be moved. I should not be in adversity, because he believed that he is God. That's why he showed himself to be God. His mouth was full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. That's why when we go back to Revelation chapter 13, it says that he blasphemed against the Lord. See, this all connects. That's the spirit. He blasphemed and said great blasphemies against the Lord. Right. Now when you go back to Psalms 10, it says his mouth was full of cursing, deceit, and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. And it even tells you that God is not in all his thoughts. See, all goes together. And then 2 Thessalonians tells you that he showed himself to be God. See? And we know who that is, the Edomites, man. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, so he over there in the ghetto, right? In the secret places does he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth and waits secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth and wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draws into his net. So he's like, there go the county building right there. So he sets up traps. PPP loan. He allows you to get the money. So it should be on him, because he the one that allowed and approved you for it. But then he comes back and say, no, you uploaded fraud. We're going to take you to jail. That's a trap. The war on drugs, which I uploaded a video on that day of them admitting that the war on drugs was really a way for them just to put war on blacks. But they couldn't just come out and say we want to do a war on blacks. So they had to come up, wise counsel, Psalms 83, behind scenes. They took wise counsel and consulted to cut us off from being a nation. So they had to cut us off from being a nation. They had to flood the ghetto with drugs. Here it is, these Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, we just supposedly got out of slavery. How do we got power to get drugs? It's not grown in the cities. So somebody had to bring it in. They brung it in, man. It was a setup. Same thing they do with the guns in Chicago. They bring those things in, they let you get it, they pull you over, it's a trap. They get you on a gun case, you go to jail. They make you war against the brother, and the curses are put up, evil eye towards your brother. So you gotta ride with a gun or you're gonna get killed. You can't protect yourself. But then the police come pull you over, they track you. Now you got a gun case, now you got a felony. Now it's harder for you to do anything. You get back out on the streets, you can't get a job, you can't fend for yourself, so then you turn to selling drugs. They put the drugs in the streets. Then that's a trap. Then eventually you get caught because you sell it to undercovers. They got money, they got tracking money, so the dollars that you got in your pocket are tracked. The serial numbers are tracked. So when you get caught in that, they know, okay, you've been selling. They got informants. They turn people informants by putting cases on them, so it's all a trap. Now they got you back in the county building, and now you facing 20, 30 years. That's the trap. That's the net. That's why it says in Psalms 10, he lies secretly. He lies and wakes secretly in a lion in his den. He lies and waits to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draws in his net, his trap that he put out there on you. Right? If you go to Psalms 12, verse 5, it says, the Lord tries the righteousness, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. Upon the wicked he shall raise snares, fire, brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This should be the portion of their cup. So Esau is going to be destroyed, man. The portion of his cup. So, we might have a little bit of time to go to it. The portion of his cup. But it says, look, he loveth violence. So if you jump to Jeremiah, remember that he loveth violence. If you jump to Jeremiah 49, like it says, this is the portion of his cup. Precept of that is Jeremiah 49 verse 12. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken. But art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it, of the cup. It just told you that in Psalms chapter 12 what's going to happen to him. But if you didn't know, for I have sworn by myself, say Basra shall become a desolation in America. Because Basra is a people before it's a place which goes back to the Edomites. A reproach, a waste, a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. If you jump down, verse 17, also Edom, see, Esau, there go Esau again popping up, shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at the plagues thereof. Just like it said in Revelation chapter 17, those other nations are going to turn on it and shoot nuclear weapons on it. And shall burn her with fire. See, it all goes together when you got the truth, man. It could flow like that. Your pastor, your preacher could never break down the prophecies like that. They would never bring out some of these precepts, mostly all these precepts that I'm bringing out, they would never bring these out in church because they couldn't break it down like that. Because in Psalms 40 tells you why they can't. Now let's jump to, because like it says, he loveth violence, right? This is Ezekiel 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel. He has that perpetual hatred. This goes back to Esau. He said he hate Jacob and he's going to kill Jacob, right? We read that. He has shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword. There, ooh, shit, man. Shit. That's tough. That's the spirit right there, man. It be surprising me sometimes. Sometimes I got to step back and just be like, damn. It comes from studying in the spirit, man. Ooh, the sword. So if you have ears to hear, if you're not shallow and you've been following along, then who was given the sword? The red horse and the red dragon. And going back to Genesis chapter 27, Esau was blessed with the sword. So it's the Edomites. Damn. And force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee into blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. We're going to end it off with this one, man. I'll see if I had another precept or something like that. Then now you can finally understand Obadiah chapter 1. Verse 8. Shall I not in that day, say the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, to understand out Mount Esau, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed. In the end, that every one of the Mount of Esau be cut off by slaughter. No, the Edomites could be saved. It says, no, every one of the Mount of Esau should be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, see, saying the same thing as Ezekiel 35. For that violence against thy brother Jacob, shame should cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever, because of their violence against their brother Jacob. Verse 18, it says, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, in the house of Esau for stubble, and they should kindle in them and devour them, and there should not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. The Lord has spoken it. There should not be any remaining of the house of Esau. So how the fuck can the Edomites be saved? Gotta get out the semantics, man. Gotta get past these semantics, man. Gotta get out these out the semantics and out your feelings. At that. And we broke down and we broke down the truth. So we gonna leave it there, you know. The red dragon goes back to the Edomites. The red horse goes back to the Edomites. The old serpent, Cain, all that spirit was reincarnated back to Esau. The wicked of the earth, Esau, the man of sin, Esau. All roads lead back to Esau, because when you understand this truth, it all comes back to Jacob and Esau. Our Lord Yahweh Shai, he came from the tribe of what? Judah. He came from the Israelites. It's Jacob and Esau. That's what it comes down to. The Lord's coming back to destroy Esau. That's the bad guy. That's your Thanos. Well, in the movie Avengers, Thanos actually represented Yahweh Shai coming back. When the Avengers was the Edomites that so-called subdued the Lord, because that's their heart's desire, like it said in Psalm chapter 10. They're both of their heart's desire to destroy the Lord and stop the Lord from coming back and setting up the kingdom and giving dominion to the Israelites on earth. That's their heart's desire. They are the bad guys to this story, to the story the Lord wrote. And he's coming back to destroy them, and there's nothing they can do about it. So with that, hopefully this has been edifying. I'm going to say salvation to the elect. Shalom. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders. Peace, blessing, and honor to all the brothers in the truth.